What are pronominal verbs in Italian? Well, pronominal verbs are a special kind of verb that include one or two pronouns. Reflexive verbs like lavarsi, to wash oneself, or svegliarsi, to wake up, are a type of pronominal verb where the pronoun acts as a complement to the verb. Whereas in all other pronominal verbs, the pronouns do not serve a grammatical function, but instead they change and expand the meaning of the original verb, often giving it a completely new meaning. In this lesson, we'll explore what pronominal verbs are and how they function in everyday Italian. Through examples and explanations, you will discover how these verbs can make your Italian dynamic and expressive. And don't worry about taking notes, I've done all the hard work for you. To help you practice, make sure you download your free PDF cheat sheet for this lesson. It includes all the vocabulary and examples that you're about to see here today. Just click on the link in the description box below this video. Are you ready? Iniziamo! Let's start with the verb
piantare.
Normally it means to plant, like planting seeds or flowers in a garden. But if you add the pronoun la and you get
Piantarla.
This means to stop doing or to stop saying something. Some Italian pronominal verbs even incorporate other elements like nouns, adjectives or adverbs, which are essential for the verb's existence. For instance, the pronominal verb farne isn't typically used on its own. Instead, you'll see it in expressions like
Farne le spese.
to pay for it, or
Farne di tutti I colori.
to cause all sorts of trouble. Italian pronominal verbs are everywhere in conversational Italian. However, in more formal settings, there are often alternative ways to express the same idea. For instance, instead of
Piantala.
stop it, you might simply say
Basta.
enough. Instead of
Me ne vado.
I'm leaving, you might say
Vado via.
this also means I'm leaving. Let's take a look at how to conjugate a pronominal verb in Italian. Worried that you'll never be able to use those pronominal verbs in Italian? Don't worry, they are quite easy to conjugate. Just follow these steps. Isolate the pronominal pronouns from the end of the verb. Place that pronoun before the verb and conjugate the verb as you normally would. Let's see an example with the verb
Contarci.
meaning to rely on someone or something.
Ci conto. Ci conti. Ci conta. Ci contiamo. Ci contate. Ci contano.
Now, while the pronouns ci, ne, and la do not change, si needs to be declined according to the subject because it behaves like a reflexive pronoun. Now, when doing so, it's important to remember that the I becomes an E when si joins another pronoun. Now, to learn more about Italian pronouns, watch this video here. Let's see an example with the verb
Andarsene.
to go away.
Me ne vado. Te ne vai. Se ne va. Ce ne andiamo. Ve ne andate. Se ne vanno.
Now, this construction with the pronoun before the verb is valid for the indicative, subjunctive, and conditional moods. Take a look at these examples.
Di questo passo ci metterà una vita a finire il lavoro.
At this rate, it will take her forever to finish the job. Future indicative.
Se te ne andassi ora, te ne pentiresti. Fidati.
If you left now, you would regret it. Trust me. Imperfect subjunctive.
Con i giusti strumenti ci vorrebbe un attimo.
With the right tools, it would take a moment. Present conditional. For all other tenses, the pronouns come after the verb. Take a look at these examples.
Ha detto di smetterla di chiamarlo. Non vuole parlare con nessuno.
He said to stop calling him. He doesn't want to talk to anyone. Infinitive.
Spassatevela anche per me.
Have fun for me too. Imperative.
Andandocene a casa, li abbiamo visti che entravano in un bar.
On our way home, we saw them entering a bar. This is the gerund. To learn all 15 Italian tenses, watch this video lesson here. Attenzione! With the infinitive, you can place the pronouns either before the verb or attach them to the infinitive. The meaning doesn't change. Take a look.
Devi sbrigartela da sola.
Or you can say,
Te la devi sbrigare da sola.
meaning you have to deal with it yourself.
Non voglio prendermela.
Or you can say,
Non me la voglio prendere.
I don't want to get upset. Pronominal verbs ending in se la and se ne require the auxiliary verb essere, to be, in compound tenses. For example,
Andarsene.
to leave a place or to go away.
Io me ne sono andato subito.
I left immediately.
Prendersela comoda.
To do something slowly and without rushing.
Ce la siamo presa comoda stamattina e siamo partiti alle 10.
We took our time this morning and left at 10.
Fregarsene.
To not care about something.
Se ne sono fregati e sono andati via.
They didn't care and left. For verbs with the pronoun la, the past participle in compound tenses agrees with this pronoun, so it's feminine singular. For example,
Cavarsela.
to manage to overcome difficulties. For example,
Te la sei cavata.
you managed it.
Prendersela.
To get upset about something. For example,
Se l'è presa senza motivo.
he got upset for no reason.
Farla grossa.
To mess up or to make a big mistake. For example,
L'hanno fatta grossa questa volta.
they really messed up this time. Are you enjoying this lesson? Don't let the learning stop here. Make sure you download your free PDF cheat sheet for this lesson, which you'll find a link to in the description box below this video. Now let's take a look at Italian pronominal verbs with one pronoun. Now some of the most common pronominal verbs in Italian only contain one pronoun, ci, ne, la, or le. Let's start with pronominal verbs with ci. Note here that when joined with another pronoun, ci changes the I to an E and becomes c'è. Take a look.
Arrivarci.
Meaning to get it. This is often used to express frustration. For example,
Mio padre non ci arriva proprio. Ho bisogno dei miei spazi.
my father just doesn't get it. I need my space.
Averci.
Now this is more emphatic and a colloquial way of saying to have. For example,
C'hai il ragazzo? E da quando?
so you have a boyfriend? Since when? This is a classic question from nosy relatives during holiday gatherings.
Azzeccarci.
Meaning to guess right or to match. For example,
Quel meteorologo ci azzecca sempre.
that meteorologist always gets it right.
Quelle scarpe non ci azzeccano niente con il vestito.
Those shoes don't match the dress at all.
Cascarci.
To be fooled or tricked. For extra emphasis, Italians say,
Cascarci con tutte le scarpe.
literally, to fall with all the shoes, which is similar to the English saying, to fall for it, hook, line, and sinker. For example,
Adoro fare scherzi a mia sorella. Ci casca sempre.
I love playing pranks on my sister. She always falls for it.
Contarci.
To rely on someone or something. Italians also use this verb sarcastically, often to imply disbelief or skepticism. For example,
Ricordati di portarmi gli appunti. Ci conto.
remember to bring me the notes. I'm counting on it.
Contaci che vengo a correre.
Yeah, right. Count on me going for a run.
Darci dentro.
This means to put in effort or work hard. This is perfect for encouraging someone to give their all. For example, you might say,
Devi darci dentro con gli allenamenti se vuoi vincere il torneo.
you have to practice hard if you want to win the tournament.
Dormirci su. Sopra.
To sleep on it, to postpone a tough decision until the next day to think it over. For example,
Dormici su e vedrai che domani avrai le idee più chiare.
sleep on it and you'll see that tomorrow you'll have clearer ideas.
Entrarci.
This means to have to do with something and is often used to distance oneself from drama or conflict. For example,
Non voglio entrarci nelle vostre discussioni.
I don't want to get involved in your arguments.
Non guardare me. Io non c'entro.
Don't look at me. I have nothing to do with it.
Mancarci.
This is used to express frustration, usually due to a setback or something that didn't happen. It's also used in the conditional form as a polite alternative to prego, you're welcome, or to emphasize that something is obvious. For example,
Ci manca solo che tu venga bocciata.
the only thing missing is for you to fail.
Ci mancava anche questa.
As if it wasn't already enough.
Grazie, sei molto gentile. Ci mancherebbe, signora. La aiuto con piacere.
Thank you, you're very kind. Not at all, ma'am. I'm happy to help.
Posso contare su di te per la festa di domani? Ci mancherebbe.
Can I count on you for tomorrow's party? Of course.
Marciarci.
This means to take advantage of a situation, highlighting an opportunistic behavior. For example,
Non è giusto marciarci su una situazione difficile.
it's not right to take advantage of a difficult situation,
Metterci.
meaning to take a certain amount of time to do something, but it's also used with the meaning to be necessary in a generic sense. For example,
Quanto ci metti ad andare al lavoro?
how long does it take you to get to work?
Pensarci.
This means to take care of something personally, often to offer reassurance that you'll handle something.
Non preoccuparti, ci penso io.
Don't worry, I'll take care of it.
Prenderci.
This means to guess correctly, often to praise someone's accurate predictions. For example,
Incredibile. Andrea ci prende sempre quando si tratta di meteo.
incredible. Andrea always gets it right when it comes to the weather.
Prenderci gusto.
This means to start enjoying something that initially didn't seem interesting, like warming up to a new hobby or activity. For example,
Vedo che ci stai prendendo gusto.
I see you're starting to enjoy it.
Provarci.
This means to flirt with someone openly. For example,
Marco ci ha provato con me, ma gli ho detto di no.
Marco tried to hit on me, but I said no.
Restarci male.
This means to feel disappointed. For example,
Ci sono rimasto male quando ho sentito la notizia.
I felt disappointed when I heard the news.
Rimetterci.
This means to lose money or something else in doing something. For example,
Ci ho rimesso più di 10.000 euro con quell'investimento.
I lost more than 10,000 euros in that investment.
Saperci fare.
To be good at something, often used to compliment someone's skills or abilities.
Claudio ci sa davvero fare con i bambini.
Claudio is really good with kids.
Sentirci da quell'orecchio.
Used in the negative form, this highlights someone deliberately ignoring something. For example,
È inutile insistere. Non ci sente da quell'orecchio.
it's useless to insist. He doesn't want to hear it.
Scapparci.
To be possible or probable. For example,
Se continuo a vendere così tanto, ci scappa una bella promozione.
if I keep selling this much, I'll end up with a nice promotion.
Starci.
To agree with something or to fit in terms of space. For example,
Vieni al mare con noi? Ci sto.
are you coming to the beach with us? I'm in.
Starci male.
To suffer from a situation. For example,
Giulia ci sta male per quello che è successo l'altra sera.
Julia is upset about what happened the other night.
Tenerci.
To care about something or someone. For instance,
Ci tengo tantissimo alla nostra amicizia.
I care a lot about our friendship.
Vederci.
This means to imagine someone in a situation and is often followed by pronouns like lo, la, li, and le. In the negative form, it means to lose control.
Non ce li vedo proprio a lavorare al bar.
I can't really see them working in the bar.
Vederci chiaro.
This means to understand a situation clearly and to get to the bottom of something. For example,
Voglio vederci chiaro. Il comportamento di Laura non mi convince.
I want to see things clearly. Laura's behaviour doesn't convince me.
Volerci.
This verb is used to talk about the time needed to do something or the simplicity of a task. For example,
Ci vuole un'ora per andare a Milano.
it takes an hour to get to Milan. Are you enjoying this lesson? Don't let the learning stop here. Make sure you download your free PDF cheat sheet for this lesson, which you'll find a link to in the description box below this video. Now let's take a look at pronominal verbs with ne, starting with.
Andarne.
Now this means to be at stake, often referring to one's reputation. For example,
Non posso farlo. Ne va della mia professionalità.
I can't do this. My professionalism is at stake.
Approfittarne.
To take advantage. For example,
Visto che nessuno prendeva l'ultimo pezzo di torta, ne ho approfittato.
since no one was taking the last piece of cake, I took it.
Averne abbastanza. Averne fin sopra i capelli.
To have had enough of someone or something.
Ne ho abbastanza delle sue bugie.
I've had enough of his lies.
Dirne di tutti i colori.
This means to speak one's mind, often in a harsh way. It can also be used on its own, dirne, with the same meaning. For example,
Marco era arrabbiatissimo. Ce ne ha dette di tutti i colori.
Marco was very angry. He said all sorts of things.
Farne di tutti i colori.
Meaning to be up to all sorts of mischief. For example,
Mia mamma mi ha raccontato che da piccola ne facevo di tutti i colori.
my mum told me that when I was little, I was up to all sorts of mischief.
Non poterne più.
To be unable to take it anymore, like when you've reached your breaking point. For example,
Non ne posso più di questo maledetto lavoro.
I can't stand this damn job anymore.
Venirne a capo. Venirne fuori.
To get to the bottom of something. For example,
Questo test è troppo difficile. Non riesco a venirne a capo.
this test is too difficult. I can't figure it out. Now let's take a look at pronominal verbs with la, starting with.
Avercela.
Now this means to be angry with someone. For example,
Paolo ce l'ha ancora con me per l'altra sera.
Paolo is still mad at me for the other night.
Darla vinta.
To give in, to let someone win.
Alla fine gliel'ho dovuta dare vinta.
In the end, I had to let him have his way.
Farcela.
To manage to do something or to succeed in something. For example,
Ce l'ho fatta. Ho passato il test di medicina.
I did it. I passed the medical exam.
Farla breve.
To make it short, to get to the point. For example,
La faccio breve. Ho rotto con Anna.
I'll make it short. I broke up with Anna.
Farla finita.
To end something. In extreme cases, it can also mean to end one's life. For example,
Falla finita con quella musica.
stop that music.
Farla franca.
To get away with it without being caught or punished. For example,
I ladri sono riusciti a farla franca anche questa volta.
the thieves managed to get away with it this time too.
Farla grossa.
To mess up, to make a big mistake.
L'ha fatta grossa stavolta.
She really messed up this time.
Finirla.
To put an end to an annoying behaviour.
Finiscila con queste sciocchezze.
Stop it with this nonsense.
Piantarla.
This is another way to say to stop it. For example,
Piantala di lamentarti. Sei adulto e vaccinato.
stop complaining, you're a big boy.
Scamparla.
To get away from danger.
La scampata bella.
He had a narrow escape.
Sfangarla.
To dodge an obligation. This is mostly used by young Italians.
Mauro doveva aiutare suo padre, ma è riuscito a sfangarla.
Mauro was supposed to help his father, but he managed to dodge it.
Smetterla.
To stop it. This is similar to finirla and piantarla.
Smettila di fare il buffone.
Stop fooling around.
Spuntarla.
To prevail, to get what one wants.
Il dibattito è stato animato, ma alla fine l'ha spuntata lei.
The debate was heated, but in the end, she prevailed. Now let's take a look at pronominal verbs with le, starting with
Buscarle.
to be beaten up.
Oggi Mario ha litigato con Luca a scuola e le ha buscate.
Today, Mario argued with Luca at school and got beaten up.
Darle di santa ragione.
To beat someone up violently. This is often used figuratively.
È tardi. Devo correre a casa o mia madre me le darà di santa ragione.
It's late. I need to rush home or my mum will really give it to me.
Prenderle.
To get a beating. This is often said by mothers to children who don't behave.
Mattia, se non la smetti, appena torniamo a casa le prendi.
Mattia, if you don't stop it, as soon as we get home, you're going to get it.
Suonarle.
To give someone a beating, another common verb used by Italian mothers.
Adesso vengo lì e te le suono.
I'm coming over there right now and I'm going to give you a beating. Are you enjoying this lesson? Don't let the learning stop here. Make sure you download your free PDF cheat sheet with this lesson, and you'll find a link to that in the description box below this video. Now let's take a look at Italian pronominal verbs with two pronouns. Now some Italian pronominal verbs contain two pronouns. More specifically, you'll see ci plus la or ne, si plus la or ne. Attenzione, when ci and si join with another pronoun, the I changes to E, resulting in forms like ce n'è, ce l'ha, se n'è, and se l'ha. Let's start with pronominal verbs with ce l'ha, starting with
Avercela.
This means to be mad with someone because of something.
Anna ce l'ha ancora con me perché non sono andata con lei.
Anna is still mad at me because I didn't go with her.
Farcela.
To succeed in reaching a goal, to manage to do something.
Ce l'ho fatta, ho passato l'esame.
I did it, I passed the exam.
Mettercela tutta.
To give one's all in order to reach a goal.
Ce la stanno mettendo tutta per aprire il ristorante prima dell'estate.
They are giving it their all to open up the restaurant before the summer. Now let's take a look at pronominal verbs with ce n'è, starting with
Corrercene.
to be very different.
Tra il dire e il fare ce ne corre.
There's a big difference between saying and doing.
Volercene.
To take effort and time. For example,
Ce ne vuole a convincerlo. Sai che è testardo.
it takes time to convince him. You know he is stubborn. Now let's take a look at pronominal verbs with se l'ha, starting with
Aspettarsela.
to expect, to anticipate something. For example,
Mi hai sorpreso con questo regalo. Non me l'aspettavo.
you surprised me with this gift. I wasn't expecting it.
Bersela.
To believe naively in something that is clearly false.
Gli ho detto che sono un agente segreto e lui se l'è bevuta.
I told him I'm a secret agent and he bought it.
Cantarsela e suonarsela.
This is an Italian idiom which is used to describe someone who always sings their own praises.
Cristina se ne va sempre in giro a dire quanto è brava. Se la canta e se la suona.
Christina always goes around boasting about how good she is. She sings her own praises. To learn more Italian idiomatic expressions, watch this video here.
Cavarsela.
To manage to overcome difficulties or to do something adequately. For example,
Non mi piace la matematica, ma me la cavo.
I don't like math, but I manage.
Cercarsela.
To ask for trouble. For example,
Se continui a comportarti così, te la stai cercando.
if you keep behaving like this, you're asking for trouble.
dormirsela.
meaning to be indifferent to everything around you.
Noi stiamo raccogliendo olive dalle 5 e lui se la dorme ancora beato.
We've been picking olives since 5 o'clock and he's still blissfully sleeping.
Filarsela, squagliarsela, svignarsela.
To slip away or vanish in a sneaky manner. For example,
Non appena ha sentito le sirene, il ladro se l'è svignata.
as soon as he heard the sirens, the thief slipped away.
Godersela.
Meaning to have fun and to enjoy oneself.
Sono in vacanza in Sardegna. Me la sto godendo alla grande.
I'm on holiday in Sardinia and I'm enjoying it so much.
Legarsela al dito.
This means to keep something in mind, or more literally, it means to tie a string around one's finger.
Questa non gliela perdono. Me la lego al dito.
I won't forgive him for this, I'll tie it to my finger.
Passarsela.
This means to spend time or to get through a period of time. For example,
Come te la passi?
how are you doing? Now to learn more colloquial ways to ask how are you in Italian, watch this video here.
Passarsela bene. Male.
To be doing well or not well, depending on the context. For example,
Ho visto Marco ieri. Non se la passa bene.
I saw Marco yesterday. He's not doing well.
Prendersela.
To get upset about something. For example,
Non prendertela con me. Io non ho fatto niente.
don't get mad at me. I didn't do anything.
Prendersela comoda.
This means to take one's time to do something slowly and without rushing, and is often used sarcastically. For example,
Prenditela pure comoda. Tanto non ho nient'altro da fare.
take your time, I have nothing else to do.
Ridersela.
To not worry about something. For example,
Hai visto come se la ride? Dobbiamo dargli una lezione.
did you see how he laughs? We need to teach him a lesson.
Sbrigarsela.
To manage to solve a problem or handle a situation independently.
Sei abbastanza grande per sbrigartela da sola.
You're old enough to handle it on your own.
Sentirsela.
To feel up to something, especially something challenging or difficult.
Te la senti di fare il discorso di apertura alla conferenza?
Do you feel up to giving the opening speech at the conference?
Spassarsela.
To have fun and enjoy oneself, similar to
Godersela. Pietro e Carlo sono usciti a spassarsela.
Pietro and Carlo went out to have fun.
Tirarsela.
To brag about or to act superior.
Non sopporto le ragazze che se la tirano. Non ci uscirei mai.
I can't stand girls who brag. I would never go on a date with them.
Vedersela.
To have a problem with someone and need to resolve it.
Devo vedermela con mio fratello per quello che è successo.
I have to sort things out with my brother for what happened.
Vedersela brutta.
To go through a tough experience.
Andrea se l'è vista brutta nell'incidente, ma fortunatamente non è successo nulla di grave.
Andrea had a tough time in the accident, but fortunately nothing serious happened. Now let's take a look at pronominal verbs with se ne, starting with
Andarsene.
to leave a place or to go away. For example,
Hai visto Anna? Se n'è andata senza salutare nessuno.
have you seen Anna? She left without saying goodbye to anyone.
Farsene.
Meaning to use something. For example,
Che te ne fai di tutte quelle vecchie riviste di moda?
what do you do with all these old-fashioned magazines?
Farsene una ragione.
To come to terms with something. For example,
Chiara non uscirà mai con te. Fattene una ragione.
Chiara will never date you. You better come to terms with it.
Fregarsene.
To not care about something.
Non me ne frega niente della loro opinione.
I couldn't care less about their opinion.
Fottersene.
To not give a damn about something or someone.
Me ne fotto dei vostri pettegolezzi.
I don't give a damn about your gossip.
Guardarsene.
To purposely avoid doing something.
Enrico è davvero un idiota. Se n'è guardato bene dall'aiutarci.
Enrico is truly an idiot. He avoided helping us.
Intendersene.
To know everything there is to know about something. To be an expert. For example,
Me ne intendo di cucina. Posso preparare un piatto squisito con pochi ingredienti.
I'm good at cooking. I can prepare an exquisite dish with just a few ingredients.
Lavarsene le mani.
To wash one's hands of something, to avoid taking responsibility. For instance,
Giulio se ne lava le mani. Non vuole essere coinvolto in questa decisione.
Giulio washes his hands of it. He doesn't want to be involved in this decision.
Occuparsene.
To take care of something.
I clienti hanno chiamato me, quindi me ne occupo io d'ora in poi.
The clients called me, so I'll take care of it from now on.
Sbattersene.
To not care about something.
Me ne sbatto del futuro. Sono concentrato sul presente.
I don't care about the future. I'm focused on the present.
Starsene.
This means to stay in a place.
Non esco. Me ne sto a casa.
I'm not going out. I'm staying at home.
Tornarsene.
This means to go back to a place. For example,
Sono stanco morto. Me ne torno a casa.
I'm dead tired. I'm heading back home. Now, to continue your learning and to help you practice, make sure you download your free PDF cheat sheet for this lesson, which you'll find a link to in the description box below this video. If you enjoyed this lesson, then you'll love Intrepid Italian, my series of online self-paced video courses that break down everything you need to know about Italian using my unique 80-20 method. More details in the description below. Now, if you enjoyed this lesson, don't miss my lesson on how to cheat your way to fluency using modal verbs, and you can watch that here. Plus, if you want to master Italian sentence structure once and for all, watch this video lesson here. In the meantime, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and turn on those notifications so you get an alert when I post more video lessons like this one. Until next time, un abbraccio, ciao!